so some secondary roads could become a little slick briefly overnight, well north and west. Don't see any problems in the morning, even out there. And then 5 to 8 inches for our friends in Cumberland and across the divide. That really hasn't changed. So we're looking at winter weather advisories for the metro. It stops at Prince George's County and Fairfax, Prince William County. And then we have winter storm warnings in white, which includes Frederick County and also Washington County, as well as Allegheny and Garrett County and most of West Virginia. But tomorrow night, we have a winter storm watch, Fredericksburg South, even includes St. Mary's County, kind of unusual. So the second wave right now appears to be going south of us. And I'm not so sure you're even going to see much snow up into Fredericksburg. It may be even further south. Certainly you'll see something between Fredericksburg and Richmond. Yeah, Richmond. So here's the radar. Big area precip right along the Ohio River that's just kind of streaming in here. And we kind of had a runaway batch earlier with some overrunning. It's when warm, moist air goes over cold air and it just spits out some snow. But the area low pressure itself really won't get close enough to us to get these heavier bands until tonight. And again, north of town, that's going to be the best place for these to feed right over through Winchester and kind of over into Frederick and the I-70 corridor. So we're not looking at much downtown. Here's what we're looking at right now. Some snow moved through earlier and some sleet. We have some sleet and some light snow out there now, but beginning to fill back in out toward Winchester and also up toward Hagerstown. And it should become a little more steady, a little steadier and a little heavier as we go through the night, especially from Frederick to Hagerstown. So Frederick, you see that blue? That's a pretty good band of snow right now. And we have a mixed bag down I-70 and a mixed bag here in Northwest. We had some sleet and we had some snow just a couple minutes ago on the weather terrace. But again, down to the south, mainly rain tonight. And with temps, 34, 32, 34, I mean, it's going to be really tough to accumulate on roadways, which is good news. I mean, that's good news. Although for some... Oh. Okay. Boop. 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 Should I count and go? I guess you could kill the program in my ear so I can hear you better. Okay. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. I didn't really bother that much. But okay. 3, 2, 1. Good evening once again, everybody, with audio. I'm meteorologist Topper Shutt. We're going to go through some snowfall tonight, what happens to round 2 tomorrow night, and also look ahead a little bit to the weekend. We're worried about ice storm on Saturday, not a snowstorm. So we haven't changed this much. A trace to an inch DC south. And this may be more tomorrow morning and early tomorrow afternoon. I don't think you'll see anything accumulating down here tonight. D.C. north and west, that includes Rockville and Bethesda and Fairfax and Gaithersburg and Leesburg, 1 to 3 inches. But because temps are, a little bit above freezing, it's going to be mainly accumulating on grassy surfaces and your flower beds and your trees. 3 to 5 inches, Martinsburg, Frederick, Hagerstown. You might see some heavier bands that could produce snow faster than it can melt. So you might see some secondary roads covered briefly late tonight if you're going out that way. And then, boom, over the divide, you get 5 to 8 inches west of Cumberland. You go over Savage Mountain, 5 to 8 inches for places like Oakland and the Canaan Valley. So good news for the ski resorts. So winter weather advisories posted for the immediate metro area. It does include D.C. and Prince George's County and Fairfax and Prince William County. It does not technically include our friends in Charles County and Point South. To the north, in white, we have winter storm warnings right along the Maryland-PA border, and that includes Frederick County and also Washington County in Maryland from now until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Round 2, you might ask, where's that going? You ready? Yeah, winter storm watch south of us. I mean, if you're a snow lover, this is just painful. Fredericksburg south, winter storm watch, and quite frankly, I'm not so sure it's going to even get as far north as Fredericksburg. Better chance for snow in Richmond tomorrow night. And it does include our friends in St. Mary's County. So it's kind of rare. St. Mary's County is under a winter storm watch when the rest of us are not. Again, that's for tomorrow night and early on Friday. So here's the radar. We have the system kind of stretched way out right along the Ohio River. Should I stop? Oh, okay. So they can't hear me. Okay, they can see me. Okay. Okay. Well, I might just walk on off here. Okay. Is it something that Ryan has to do to sometimes he talks to Ryan, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll leave some stuff up, and I'll be back. I'll say, watch that. And, oh, you do? Well, okay. Okay. Would you want to tell him that? Can you want me to tell him that? No one else can do it here? Well, I mean, I can go Cam 51 if he wants. I mean, if that would be easier, that's fine. It would take you off the hook. Here, I'll text him that. Well, Buckley will take care of that for me. He should. Right? Oh. 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 No. Well, I mean, I guess I could do it on my phone. Then I would have a hard time getting questions. With audio? Well, let's keep going. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, well, keep me posted. Okay, all right, well, I'll keep going for those that can hear, and hopefully those that can't, we'll fix it soon. All right, so here's the system. It's kind of strung out all along the Ohio River, and right now we have the heavier bands just west of town that should move across the mountains into our northern counties overnight and into early tomorrow morning. So this is what we have now. We have the white is snow, the green is rain, and the salmon color there, that's kind of a mix. And when you see darker shades of blue, that's heavier snowfall. That's what we want to see. At least that's what I want to see. So you see some heavier bands west of 270 and heavier bands in the panhandle of West Virginia. So we'll zoom in, and this is a little heavier band now just west of 270, just in southwestern sections of Frederick County, and a little heavier band too, just west of Route 15 back into Loudoun County. So here's the deal. Because temperatures are above freezing, it's going to be tough to have any road problems tomorrow. Yes, some of the bands of snow could get heavier overnight, and again, just simply snow faster than it can melt. So some secondary roads could be slippery. Your driveway might be slippery, but I got to say, the main road should be fine, even up into Frederick and Hagerstown. And then south of town, and including the Beltway area, don't see any problems at all, with temperatures not going much lower than they are right now. D.C. south will not get below freezing tonight. So 10 o'clock tonight, 35 D.C., 33 Frederick, 33 in Leesburg. I think this should be snow right here, kind of north of I-66. That's kind of my snow line. So Futurecast not really picking up on that. But you get an idea of the darker blue bands. So there's some heavier snow to the north of us, up into Frederick and Hagerstown. But it's sort of like like I said this with last weekend's storm, sort of like a March storm, a spring storm. These are the kind of storms you'd expect in March, where everything's marginal. The surface temperatures are marginal, the atmosphere just marginal, as opposed to the dead of winter, when we should have plenty of cold air and not be messing around with rain and snow lines. Oh, by the way, on this date in 1983 was the President's Day blizzard, 16.6 inches in D.C. It's the 7th biggest snow on record, but in the burbs it was 24 inches plus. It was a great storm. So if you ever want to bet when you're going to have a big storm, President's Day is a good time to do it. Okay, so that's midnight. This is 2 a.m. Still some snow north of town. 4 a.m. Still some snow north of town. Notice temps in the 30s and just rain. Andrews down into southern Maryland. It's just a miserable night. And then by the time we get to 6 o'clock in the morning, things beginning to pull on out. Temperatures generally are 32 to 35. By 9 o'clock, everything's pretty much gone. Still some rain down into southern Maryland. I can't rule out a rain or snow shower early on Thursday. Then this is our respite. 11:30 in the morning on Thursday into the afternoon. But the second storm is going to go south of us. Now, let me show you some of the maps we look at. This is the European model. Remember how this was going hog wild? Well, this is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We've got 1.2 inches in D.C., 2, 3, 4 inches north, and now nothing to the south. Nothing to the south. Take you into 7 o'clock in the evening, rather. Doesn't change these numbers much. So pretty much the heaviest activity is going to fall overnight and end probably about 7 o'clock in the morning. But then look, by 7 a.m. on Friday, we're seeing some snow to the south. That's that second storm that we're going to miss, but could produce some snow. I mean, maybe as far north as Fredericksburg and Tappahannock, and maybe into maybe St. Mary's County, maybe. But even so, you're going to need some heavier bands because your temps are going to be marginal as well to produce snow. All right, we'll contrast that with the American model, which is now saying almost nothing tonight in D.C., 0.5, but it is picking up nicely on the heavier bands up into Frederick and Hagerstown, where we have our 3 to 5 inch band. I like that. And then nothing to the south. It's just going to be rain. But it's also picking up a little bit of the snow by tomorrow night down to the south of us, and even almost 2 inches in Fredericksburg and almost 2 inches in Tappahannock, and that's by Friday morning. This may be a little bit overdone, but again, that's the model. But at least the models are a little closer. Remember, yesterday, even yesterday, the European had a ton of snow for us south and not as much north. Remember, I said that was a head scratcher? Hagerstown had 0.8 inches during the whole event. Well, now the models have corrected themselves. So here we go. Let's talk about the next couple of days, and we'll go city by city. This is DCA. 1/10 of an inch to 5 inches. Okay, if you multiply, a tenth by 10, that's an inch, by 5 is 5 inches. So there's 50 times as much snow predicted from one model to another. That's a big range. We like the inch and a half range. For Hagerstown, yeah, we prefer the higher numbers here. We really do. We think 4 to 6 inches is pretty much a good estimate for the next 48 hours and really for the next 24 primarily. Frederick, we like the higher numbers too. Some models only going 2.7, but some are going 7 inches. We'll throw that out. We think, 4 to 5, good number for Frederick. So places like Frederick and Hagerstown, we see these heavier bands. If you hurry up before dawn tomorrow, you might be able to plow your driveway. It might be plowable. Now, Leesburg, they've really tapered these numbers off. These were much more consistent this afternoon, more in the 3-4 range. Now they're more in the 2-3 range, pretty much across the board, maybe pushing 3.5. So, roads just wet tonight. Lows we're going to be above 32, D.C. and south. Accumulating snow tonight will be mainly north of Route 50 and Interstate 66. Now, we have that same lull tomorrow we talked about, and not too bad temperature-wise, 37 to 42. I think most of us holding upper 30s. But we have that lull, and instead of waiting for the second storm, that second storm is going to go to our south and just brush the DMV. We will keep the chance for some accumulating snow, maybe as far north as Fredericksburg. And I'm going to keep the chance for some light snow or flurries in the metro area on Friday, but no additional accumulation. Now, let's look ahead. European model. This is 7 o'clock Saturday morning. Again, green is rain. The magenta here is mix, sleet or freezing rain, and the blue is snow. This is not going to be a snow event for us, which is a shame because it's much easier to drive. So, 1 o'clock on Saturday, we've got pretty good sleet and freezing rain across the metro. It is showing a band of snow right along the Maryland-PA border, but for the most part, this is not going to be a snow event. 7 o'clock Saturday, huge area of freezing rain and sleet. And quite frankly, we don't like ice, but if you're going to have ice, you want to root for sleet, because sleet at least bounces and doesn't accumulate on, power lines and trees. So it's a little better. We've got 7 o'clock on Saturday night, and then 11:30 on Saturday night. Still, we have some sleet and freezing rain with some snow now Hagerstown west, and then it gets out of here by Sunday morning. And then we're just looking at clouds lifting slowly. By 3 o'clock on Sunday, we should be mostly cloudy, maybe some peaks of the sun just before the sun sets, more rain down to the south of us. We're in this pattern with this jet stream just carrying systems every 24 to 72 hours. That's why it's been so busy. And I tell you what, if you're a snow lover, you change just a couple of little things in February, we could have had an historical snowy February. I know. It's just how I think. So, early morning snow or a mix on Thursday. Good enough for a yellow weather alert, okay? I'm not going to put a yellow weather alert on Friday. We could have some flurries or light snow south. That's it. And then the mix develops on Saturday. Good enough for a yellow weather alert, no doubt. Now, so Saturday is our mix. Sunday, it could be in the early morning hours for Valentine's Day. Then we maybe clear out late. Cold on President's Day. Another mix on Tuesday. So we're barely able to catch our breath in between storms. And then this does not look as serious, however, as Saturday. And then just cold on Wednesday with temperatures in the low 40s. So, Grace, any way of getting questions or not? Can I get questions on my phone if I want? It's ended? Oh, there's no comments. Okay, okay. Okay, well, I'll just go through the maps one more time. Now, coming up at 11, I'll have new data. And I doubt I'll change this, but we'll see. And more importantly, we'll have new data on the second storm to see if it still stays to our south, and new data on the ice storm, possibly ice storm on Saturday. So from now until 7 p.m. tomorrow, a trace to an inch, Andrews, La Plata, southern Maryland, 1 to 3 inches D.C. That includes Gaithersburg and Leesburg. But again, because the temps are so critical, mainly on grassy surfaces, okay? And then 3 to 5 inches, Frederick, Hagerstown, Martinsburg. Heavier bands should move across overnight to the north of us, and temps will be a little colder, maybe at 32. So you might see a little more accumulation. Well, you will see more accumulation up there, and you might see some secondary roads covered. And then, yeah, 5 to 8 inches west of the divide. So we have winter weather advisories in effect until 10 a.m. tomorrow. To the north, right along the Maryland-PA border, those are all winter storm warnings in white. And down to the south, nothing. However, round 2, boom, Thursday night, winter storm watch south of us. Yeah, south of us. Ah, I know, it's killing me too. All right, here's the radar. And the system, you know, is pretty elongated here. It's not a very strong system. When we're in this pattern, no one storm becomes very intense. We just get a lot of little storms. And that's the case with this one. So we have pretty good snows now in western Maryland. And again, where you see the shades of blue, that's heavier snow. White or gray is snow. The blue is heavier snow. Green is just simply rain. And the magenta is a mix of sleet, snow, or freezing rain. So here we are now last couple hours, and it's beginning to fill in back here to the west a little bit with some good bands up near Frederick. Some pretty good bands near Frederick as you go up 270. So that will watch, and also a good band of snow just to the north of Leesburg here. See the darker blue? That's a pretty good band of snow. My hunch is this is all snow, and they're just having some trouble with the models there, but I think it's all snow there. 34 in Frederick, 32 in Leesburg, 34 in D.C., and 32 in Winchester. So we'll come back at 11 with some new data. We'll talk about round number 2. We'll talk about the ice storm. But in the meantime, you know, if you're north of town, enjoy a nice snow. My dad loves snows that's stuck on the trees and not on the roads, and that's kind of what we have here tonight. See you at 11.